You're listening to the Life Coaching Secrets Podcast, episode number 66. Did you know that life coaches are needed now more than ever? I'm Frank Macri, founder of Thriving Coach Academy. I've trained over 1,000 coaches and helped them launch their own successful coaching businesses. If you want to make an incredible income and impact as a coach and have a lot of fun doing it, I'll show you exactly how to get it done. This is Life Coaching Secrets. What's up, coaches? In this episode, I am going to talk about money. I'm going to talk about some money guilt that I'm hearing many coaches are having, and it's time we get rid of it. So I'm going to share with you in this episode the 3 biggest myths that people have about money, and I'm also going to reveal why you, yes you, benefit the entire planet when you become very, very rich, okay? So I have been training coaches for many, many years now, and one of the themes I've noticed happens with very, very gifted coaches especially is that they have a little bit of a block when it comes to charging for their services and when it comes to making money. And I've heard a lot of coaches say that they feel bad, they feel guilty when it comes to asking people to pay them. Even though these coaches have worked very hard to master the skill of coaching, they still have some guilt that comes up around it. So I call this experience money guilt. Money guilt. And you know you have money guilt if you feel uncomfortable at the idea of asking people to pay you. You also might have money guilt if you feel some kind of sorrow or pity for people when they say that they can't afford your services. And maybe you feel tempted to discount your services or offer it to them for free or pro bono. And you might have money guilt as well if you aren't making offers, period. If you are not charging for your coaching at all, and you're not inviting people to hire you. Okay, so those are some signs that you might have some money guilt. Now, I want to share why this happens. Why do some coaches experience money guilt? And I want to reveal why it's actually a lose-lose when you have this. It's a lose for you, and it's a lose for people. So when you have money guilt and you end up undercharging or just giving away your coaching for free, your clients end up having much less skin in the game, okay? So they are not as invested in the coaching process. And as a result, they do not get optimal results, okay? There's an expression, people who pay attention. So that is one of the disadvantages of selling yourself short because of your money guilt, because you are going to actually diminish the results that your clients are going to get. Another reason it's a lose-lose to have money guilt is because when you as a coach are not charging well and getting paid well for your work, then you end up struggling financially and you end up having worries about money, and that takes away from your presence that you bring to the table as a coach. If in the back of your mind, you're worried about paying your own bills and getting your life together financially, then that is going to take away from the true presence that you will give to your clients in sessions, okay? And another reason it's a lose-lose to have money guilt is because when you have money guilt, you might even be preventing money from flowing into your life, okay? And just from the way that you talk about coaching, the vibe that you might give off, you might be secretly pushing clients away without even realizing it. So you could be preventing money from coming in, but you could also be preventing yourself from helping people, okay? Because you have that money guilt. You don't want people to really ask about your coaching, or you might change the subject whenever they start showing more interest. You might just veer their attention somewhere else. So you prevent them from getting support, and you also prevent yourself from getting paid, okay? So why is it important? Okay, why is it really important for you to not have any kind of money guilt in your business? And I mean any. You don't want even an ounce of guilt, okay, when it comes to earning money. Like if you feel any type of guilt when people pay you, then you've got to tune in to this episode. This is going to be so helpful for you. So it's important to eliminate all money guilt as a business owner, because guess what? Money is the lifeblood of your business. If you're not making money, then you do not have a business. Okay, you need to have money flowing into your business in order for it to be viable, in order for it to be a living business. Okay, it's also important to not have any money guilt because in order to generate money, you got to make offers. You have to invite people to work with you. You must have conversations with humans. And in those conversations, you must be asking for money and receiving that money. Okay, so that is how your business is considered a business. It needs to have money flowing into it. And all that it is, when you strip away all the thoughts that your brain has around the money, it's just an exchange. An exchange is a neutral transaction, right? It's just someone exchanging a resource and you are delivering another resource. So you are receiving one resource in the form of money, and then you are delivering another resource in the form of value or coaching, the service that you're offering, right? So it is when you strip it down and get all of the mind drama out of the way, it's actually quite simple, but our brains make it very complicated with all of the guilt and the shame and the fear that comes up. Okay, so the last thing I want coaches to experience is not getting paid well to change the world, to change people's lives as coaches. That's the last thing I want. I am obsessed with coaches making all of the money, making more and more and more money. It's what excites me so much. Okay, so my intention with this episode is to get rid of any little drop of money guilt that you might have, even the little tiny bit of it. Because guilt can be a very heavy emotion to carry around, and it doesn't have to be an emotion that you need to feel in your business. Because if you're feeling guilty about making money, then the more money you make, the guiltier you're going to feel. And then why would you want to continue to feel so guilty all the time? It's not going to make running a business fun. Okay? So, money guilt. Guilt around making or receiving money. That's what that means. Okay, money is an exchange. It is just a resource that is exchanged for value. Money is one form of value, and we exchange it for another form of value. So what I want to do is I want to break down the 3 biggest limiting beliefs that may be causing you to have money guilt. And I'm also going to share with you some new perspectives that you can try on so you can feel amazing making money. So that way you can make money guilt-free. Does that sound cool? All right, here we go. So the biggest myth number 1, is that it's bad for wanting more money. The idea that it's bad, wrong, greedy, selfish, immoral, materialistic, etc., for wanting more money. This is not true at all. Okay? This has been reinforced through probably upbringing. You may have heard teachers or family or religions may have brought up this idea that you should never desire money. It's a bad thing to desire money, okay? And here's what I want to say that, especially if you think like it's a bad thing for wanting money. First of all, the more that you make, the more you have to give. So when people think that it's selfish and greedy for wanting money, you need to remember that money is simply a magnifier. Money is a magnifier. So when you earn more money, you are able to help more people. You are able to contribute more to causes that you care about. Nothing sounds bad, wrong, or selfish or greedy about that. I don't know about you. So one question that I invite you to ask yourself is, when you consider you making a lot more money, how is you making more money beneficial to other people? How is you making more money beneficial to other people? Give yourself as many reasons as you can come up with. You might want to sit down and write down that question and make a list. How is you making more money beneficial to other people? Because our brains often go to the opposite. We think that if we're making more money, it is doing harm to other people. Making more money is one of the kindest things you can do. So think about, what do you want to earn as a coach? What do you want your coaching business to bring in over the next year? What would you love to earn? And now, how will earning that allow you to give back on a greater scale? What benefits will other people have by you getting more money? And let that be the fuel. Let that be your motivation to go out and earn that money. Let that fuel your creativity for ways that you can provide value and find people and help them. So you may have heard the idea that you cannot give what you don't have. So if you want to help other people, you've got to take care of yourself first. This is why whenever you're flying a plane, what do they have to tell you before the plane is taking off? In the case of an emergency, make sure you put your oxygen mask on first before you help someone else with theirs, right? They remind you this because it's in our nature to want to help other people first, right? But when you are well taken care of financially, you are postured to spread even more kindness with the world. You're poised to spread more love when you're taken care of financially. And I believe that we need more coaches who are kind and compassionate and big-hearted and conscious. We need more people like that to become as rich as possible so that way there can be more that the whole entire planet can benefit from. This is why I'm so obsessed with seeing our coaches go off and make lots of money with their businesses because they're changing the planet through their work. So you might think as well, who am I to really make a lot of money when there are so many other people on the planet who are suffering? Okay? Remember, the more money that you make, the more opportunities you will have to help those who are suffering. Do you see the connection here? So if you care about the suffering people in the world, you being broke doesn't help that at all, right? The more money you have, the more you can give back to and donate and support the causes you care about. Okay, over my years as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, I've been able to donate tens of thousands of dollars to causes that I've cared about. I wouldn't have been able to do that if I was, barely affording my own bills. So by me making more money, by my organization bringing in more money, we're able to give back more. And that's exactly what's available to you as well, right? I feel so great making a lot of money because now I have the choice of how I want to support causes I care about with that money. And I would feel a lot worse if I didn't have that option, if I wasn't making that money to provide that kind of help. Now, you might wonder, so what's a valid reason to want more money? I think some people think they have to have some kind of spiritual or lofty reason for wanting more money. It's completely valid for you to want more money because you want more money. You don't need to explain your desire to make more money to anybody. You don't need any more reason than simply just wanting more money. So some thoughts I invite you to try on. Firstly, the thought, it's okay to want more money. You can want money and you can still be a good person. You can receive money with gratitude. Now, if you believed those things, what difference would that make for you? What difference would that begin to make with your coaching business? It's okay for you to want more money, okay? You can make more money and still be a good person. And that leads into our second big myth. I get so fired up when I talk about this stuff. So the second myth that people have around money is the idea that rich people are unethical. So people who have a lot of money, they are unethical. So there's this, and it seems to be very trendy nowadays for people to demonize wealthy people. And I don't understand why people think they need to do this. Okay, you don't need to demonize rich and wealthy people. It's this idea that people have that in order for anybody to get ahead, they have to take advantage of people. This does not have to be true for you at all. Now listen, I want to acknowledge that, yeah, there are totally some people who have a lot of money who are pretty crummy, who are jerks. But there are also people who don't have a lot of money who are pretty crummy and are also jerks. Okay? So the money is neutral. The money itself is just there. It actually, beyond just being neutral, as I shared earlier, it's a magnifier. So if you are a kind, compassionate person, money is just going to amplify your ability to be more kind and compassionate and loving. Okay? So I'm not sure. I am sure that you probably know of some power-hungry and greed-obsessed people out there who you feel like are doing a lot of harm to society and the planet. And guess what? You are handing those people even more power by staying broke or by not becoming rich. So why not focus yourself on becoming very wealthy so that way you can really make a difference? Right? You can really do some amazing things with money, and you don't need to let some jerks just give it a bad name for you. Now, in terms of ethical, right? Some people think, is it really ethical for me to earn and make a lot of money to make 6 figures, 7 figures a year? It's absolutely ethical, right? And here's the way that I like to challenge that when that comes up is I think what's unethical is knowing that you have a gift to help people and not helping those people. Not putting this gift in front of as many people's faces as possible and allowing them the opportunity to get it. I think that is unethical, right? So the idea of making money and helping people, that is not unethical at all. Holding back your gifts is what's unethical. So if you want to become wealthy and you want to become very financially successful as a coach, be really aware of the way that you talk about wealthy people. Be really mindful of when you demonize and judge wealthy people about their money and about the way they spend their money. Because if you desire to become a wealthy person, but you have judgments about wealthy people, then you might repel yourself from getting there because you don't want to become one of those evil, mean, gross, wealthy people that you associate money with, all right? And also, wealthy people are also the most philanthropic people in the world as well. And there are plenty of examples of that, okay? People with money are the most philanthropic. They are the ones who give back the most. So be really aware if you think that rich people are evil or unethical or all these different things. I invite you to start finding examples of rich people who are doing a lot of good in the world. And I promise you, you will be able to find plenty of examples, okay? One of the coolest things that I learned about recently was it's called the Giving Pledge. And it's this campaign where some of the world's most wealthy people have pledged to contribute the majority of their wealth to philanthropic causes. And there have been hundreds of people from hundreds of millionaires and billionaires from all around the world who have signed onto this pledge, and they are dedicated to giving back the majority of their wealth over the course of their lifetime and beyond to philanthropic causes. And I think stuff like that is amazing. It's so amazing, okay? All right, so let's go into the next biggest myth. Myth number 3. This is a juicy one, so buckle up. This is the one that I hear a lot from coaches. And this is what I want you to tune into. So it's the idea that you are making someone's life worse by taking their money, that you're making someone's life worse by taking their money. Of course, when you're thinking that and you're seeing the transaction in that frame of reference, you're going to feel guilty no matter what. The idea that you're taking someone's money and you're putting them in more of a hardship and you're making their life worse, okay? So here's what you need to understand. When someone hires you, you're not taking money away from them. They are investing in a service that will provide them with value for the rest of their lives. They are investing in a service. They're not just throwing their money out the window or flushing it down the toilet. They are investing in a service that's going to transform their life, okay? So I remember there were one of our coaches was wanting support around this because she had this guilt around feeling bad taking money because she thought she was just taking money from people. And one of the things I shared with her is this idea about short-term and long-term discomfort. So when someone hires you, there absolutely might be a short-term financial discomfort they experience from paying you, but they are getting long-term satisfaction as a result of working with you. So there is a net positive result that your clients are getting as a result of working with you. There's a net positive result. The alternative is having discomfort no matter what. If they're not working with you, well, guess what? They're going to continue having that short-term discomfort because they're already having discomfort in their lives. And they're going to have long-term discomfort because they have no one supporting them. They have no coach to guide them through their challenges. Okay? So yes, there could be some short-term discomfort, but you've got to remember the long-term satisfaction that comes from working with you, that comes from all the things that open up when they have the support of you, their coach. Okay? So if you have guilt around thinking you're making someone's life worse, you must remember you are adding tremendous value to their life through your coaching. You're adding so much value to their life with your coaching. And if you want to hear a little bit more about this, I made a podcast episode called How to Sell Coaching in Consultations. I think it's episode number 60 something. You'll have to go find it. But I talk more about how really when you're receiving money from someone, you're not just taking it from them, you are adding so much value to their lives. When you make more money, when you receive more money, you're not taking anything away from anyone. It's like saying that if you were to refuse a turkey sandwich, that's going to help someone that's starving on another part of the world, right? It just doesn't, there's no correlation there between you not making money and helping people by doing that. You help people by receiving money and by being able to offer value to the people that are hiring you, okay? So when it comes to my own business, running the academy, I don't have any guilt around it because we teach people how to learn the skill of coaching and go on to earn 6 figures per year and beyond in their business for the rest of their life. I don't have any guilt about someone investing in our program because they're learning something that gives them a tremendous return on their investment. They learn a skill that they can use to transform the way they show up in the world. And also, I have no guilt about the academy and what we charge because I know that our students are saving themselves years of frustration, of doubt, of drama, of playing small because they are getting the resources and the mentorship and the community that they need to thrive. Okay, we have students and graduates that go on to launch podcasts and write books and make a ton of money. And I love seeing that. If I had guilt around the academy and decided like I didn't want to do it, then those coaches wouldn't have been given that vehicle to go create amazing things in their lives. And you are just as capable of that with your coaching, right? Your clients are going to go on and create amazing things with their lives as a result of paying you and getting support from working with you. Now, people are looking for opportunities to invest in themselves. So you might have this guilt. You might think it's bad or that your clients, potential clients, are going to feel uncomfortable and not desiring to really pay for you. But here's something I've noticed. People are looking for opportunities to invest in themselves. And the financial exchange alone can be transformational for someone. So one example of this, one of our students, Jules, I remember I was on her admissions call and she had just sent over her tuition payment and she got very emotional and she said, I just want to thank you. I want to thank you for giving me the opportunity to invest in myself and for allowing me to remember that I'm worth this. I'm worth it. And she was spending a significant amount of money on our program because we're not a cheap program. We stack on the value. We are an all-inclusive premium program and certainly not cheap. And this client, this student, she was moved to tears at how transformational that experience was. Now, what if that's the same experience that you can offer someone by inviting them to work with you? Would you have guilt knowing that someone is going to be so deeply moved from hiring you that it's going to make them feel such a tremendous sense of worth, right? That experience I shared wouldn't have happened if I just gave away our program or my coaching for free, or if I undervalued my work. Now, I do hear some coaches say at times, oh, it's not really about the money for me. I just want to help people. Sometimes I hear you all say this when my team and I are on your admissions calls. Now, some of you say this as if both of those things can exist together. And I think some people feel obligated to say this disclaimer so that way they don't feel greedy or selfish or materialistic. They say, oh yeah, I'm running a business, but I don't really do it for the money. I just want to help people. It's really just about helping people for me, okay? So here's my thought about that. For me, the money is very important. Helping people is also very important. They are both very important because the money that my business generates is just evidence of the transformation and the value that I've been able to offer to people and provide to people, okay? And when you have more money, that's going to give you a wider reach with your message. That will allow you opportunities to grow your team, to grow your impact, and also provide other people with income if you start to hire team members, okay? So I gotta tell you, if you're running a business, it must be about the money, because money is the lifeblood of a business. Your business can't function without it. Otherwise, it's just a glorified hobby, right? So just because it's about the money, it doesn't mean that it's not about the people you serve. I want to say that one more time so it really sinks in. In order to run a business, it's got to be about the money, because you need money to run a business. You cannot have a business without having money flowing in. But just because it's about the money doesn't mean it's not also about making a tremendous impact on people's lives. So I want you to be okay honoring both. I want you to desire money because you desire to help people, right? You love money because you love helping people. You can desire money and you can desire transforming people's lives, but you must have that desire for money. You must want to have money flowing into your business in order for it to be a sustainable business and for you to actually help people. Okay, if you want to do this as a business. Now, I have a whole episode on this podcast called Hobby versus Business, where you can really distinguish for yourself how to get out of seeing your coaching as just this glorified hobby and really treating it as a business. Okay, now I used to say at times, oh, the money's not important to me. So if you do it, I want you to know I've been there. I used to do it too. But now I have no guilt around receiving money. Okay, I've been able to shift my mindset by taking on these perspectives that I've been sharing in this episode, okay? So now, as a result of, I want you all to also see like the bigger picture of you making more money and why there's no need to be guilty about it. Because as someone who's made a lot of money in this industry, there have been a lot of things that have opened up as a result of that. Firstly, I've been able to take better care of myself and my own needs. And when I do that, I'm able to show up as a better coach and a better trainer to my students. So I'm able to provide higher value by having my needs taken care of. I'm also able to invest in more coaching myself, which allows me to show up at an even higher level to my team and my coaches and students. As my business has grown and I've made more money, I've been able to hire others to be a part of the team, and I've been able to provide them with payment. So if I had guilt around making money, I wouldn't have been able to make enough money to now also provide money for other people as well, to give them more opportunities in their life, to provide payment to them. So giving people actual work that can bring in money in their life. It's so amazing to have that feeling. And the more money that I make, I realize like everyone benefits. And I want you to have that thought as well. What if the whole world benefited from you making more money? What if you consider that to be true? Because it is true. Okay? So I want to end with a couple other thoughts here. And there's one belief that sometimes people have that creates money guilt, and it's the idea that you shouldn't get paid well to do something that comes naturally to you. I know a lot of you probably are nodding your heads hearing that one. And I hear this a lot with coaches. Some of you might think, well, coaching is just so fun. I mean, I would do it for free anyway. So why should I really charge? Or why should I charge a lot for my coaching? You are allowed to get paid well to do work that you love. Now, I know some people believe work should feel like work. Work should be exhausting. Work should be miserable. And maybe you've had job experiences that have been like that. Up until today, up until this moment, up until you decided to run your own coaching business, your past doesn't need to define your future. Your past is irrelevant when it comes to creating your future. So just because work was miserable and hard and tiring before, and it required a lot from you, you associated exhaustion with money. So when you feel exhausted, then it's okay to make money. Versus, okay, I'm having fun, so therefore something's wrong, and I don't feel okay making money. That's the mindset we've got to break. Okay? Some people also think you have to work really hard to be successful. You have to suffer and sacrifice your way to success. Suffering is optional though. It is not a requirement. You do not need to suffer in order to make good money. Your success can be fun, and your success can be simple. Okay? So I have a lot of hobbies in my life. I like playing tennis. I like playing the clarinet and the piano. I love playing board games. I like traveling. I like photography. I love those things, and I don't get paid for those things. Now, I could decide to get paid for all those things. I could go and play the piano or clarinet professionally. I could get paid for these hobbies, right? There's even people who get paid to eat food. There's people who get paid to play video games. Pretty much anything you enjoy, you can get paid for these days, as long as you allow that to happen. As long as you don't prevent yourself from having that with a rule, I shouldn't get paid to do things I love or do things that come naturally to me. I was on the phone with a prospective coach recently and said, I feel weird monetizing my natural gifts of empathy and listening. I feel so weird about it. And I said, what if you can get paid well by being who you are? What if that belief can be mind-blowing for people to really embrace? What if you can get paid for you showing up as you authentically are, as that listener, as that curious person, as the coach? What if you could have fun and make lots of money? What if it didn't require that you burn yourself out or get so exhausted? What if you can run a business that you get paid well to run and you also enjoy doing the work? So I want to end by sharing that the best thing that you can do is get rich. The best thing you can do for the whole planet. That sums up everything we've been talking about here. One of the best things you can do is get rich. If you want to help make a positive change on the planet, money is one of the most effective tools that you can use to do it. So if you want to help make a difference, you want to help make people's lives better, well, sure, you can go rant about, problems with the economy and the government on Facebook. You can go rant and rave about that, but you're going to be a lot more effective if you make a lot of money because you'll have more options to make change. I want to end this episode with a quote from one of my absolute favorite business books. It's called "You Are a Badass at Making Money." And the author, Jen Sincero, writes, "If you're here to become the grandest, most generous version of yourself, which you are, and if that costs money, which it does, it is your duty to get rich. You, just like all living things, are meant to take up space on this planet. Shrinking back and denying yourself the things that bring you great joy, living under a cloud of guilt, and refusing to make an impact ain't why you're here." I love that. So my invitation for you all listening, what if the next time you receive money, you could receive it guilt-free? You could receive it with gratitude. Having a healthy desire for wealth is not greed, it's a desire for life. So go out there and make all the money you want to make because the whole planet benefits from you getting rich. That's what I got in this episode on money guilt. Thanks for listening. I'm going to include a little clip at the end of this with a story from one of our students. So enjoy their story, and I'll see you in the next episode. Hey, would you like access to powerful coaching tools you can use on yourself and clients right away? For being a listener of the podcast, I'm giving you a VIP guest pass to get a sneak peek into my coach training program. Inside, you'll learn our coaches' secret tool they use to transform their clients' lives. And you'll also get a training on how to launch a coaching business. Just head over to www.thrivingcoachacademy.com/VIP to get started. I'll see you on the inside.